Hi, good evening, all of you. Hi, good evening, all of you. My name is Hitendra Kumar Shaha. I am a CGMP compliance consultant, trainer, and auditor from NADH plus GXP compliance services. And today we are going to discuss about the risk assessment in computerized system. So let us move to the presentation. So I will share you the presentation screen now, and let us discuss about this topic today in detail. Okay, hope I am audible to all of you, and if you have any problem in a voice, or if you are not able to see me, please put your comment in the chat box. Or if I am audible to all of you and you are able to see the screen, then that also you please confirm in the chat box, so that I will come to know that everything is okay and you are connected with me. Okay, so we are going to discuss today is a quality risk management for computerized system. Why? The reason is, many pharma companies, even I will say the all the pharmaceutical companies, they are performing the computerized system validation or computer software assurance. Okay, CSV or CSA. I agree with that. But when we are reviewing the documents, when we are validating or auditing the computerized system validation document, we come to know that so many points are missed during the risk assessment. So what are the expectation of EUGMP Annex 11? What are the expectations of 21 CFR Part 11? What are the expectations of a GAM 5 guideline, and how you can implement practically? That we are going to discuss today during this our today's session. Again, I am just recommending all people that if you have any questions, please put your questions in the chat box. Okay, I will reply to your all questions, and hope I am audible to all of you. So let us move to the our today's topic in detailed discussion for quality risk management. Okay. So what we are going to discuss today, first we will discuss about some importance of topic. We will discuss about the topic and their scope of CSV and all. Then there will be a short introduction about trainer, me, so that my CV will be the part of this recorded video, followed by we'll discuss about the what are the quality risk management related guideline requirement for computerized system specifically, that we will discuss. Then we will discuss about the quality risk management overview means, the people who are not aware, or people first time are going through this today's training or learning session, and if they are not aware about the quality risk management, so there are a couple of slides I put purposely, so that they will come to know how to perform the quality risk management. It is very simple, easy. Please be with me. I will make it in more and more simple way. Okay, and also it is a compliant way in line with the guidelines. Okay, then after that we will discuss about the practical approach, how practically we can implement it. So when we are discussing about the practical implementation of quality risk management for computerized system, it is basically there are two approaches, or you can say two stages. The first stage is to risk assessment with respect to the potential impact evaluation. So that we will discuss, and followed by the risk management with respect to the validation life cycle. And under validation life cycle, there are different 7 key stages that we will discuss in detail, and then followed by the question and answer session. So if you have any question, or if you come across any question during our discussion, or you have any type of question with respect to this topic, you can put in the chat box, and I will reply to you after completion of this training session, at the end of the training session. Then after that, there will be vote of thanks and sharing the contact details. So this is the brief overview of today's training session. So as per this agenda, let us discuss about the introduction about the trainer. So my name is Hitendra Kumar Shaha. I am a CGMP compliance consultant, trainer and auditor from NADH plus GXP compliance services. This is a brief about my CV. I'm just going in a fast, so that if anyone is interested in this CV, that person can pause and go through this CV. Otherwise, I will just go ahead with this discussion. Just before going ahead, I just want to discuss with you is, during my tenure, I have audited so many pharmaceutical companies, including APIs, drug product formulators, and so many type of, the packaging material like, vendors, and even the due diligence audits, mock audits. So many audits I have conducted. More than 500 audits I have performed. So what I prepared this training session is, what are the practical problems or what are the practical non-conformance identified during the routine computerized system validation. That also I will be discussing when I will be discussing in this session. Okay. And these are some companies where I work. I started my career with Sun Pharma. I work in Blue Cross Laboratories. I work in Alembic Pharma. I work in US Vitamins. I work in some multinational companies like AstraZeneca, Sanofi, Mylan. I work in a Zydus Cadila. So these are some major companies where I work. And before going to start this session, I just want to put a disclaimer here. Why I am putting this disclaimer? Because this whatever I am discussing with you, it is for the learning purpose. Okay. So and it will be automatically recorded and available in the YouTube. So my point here is, when you want to implement it, my suggestion is please follow the current guideline. Whatever I prepared this training session based on my previous experience, collected so much of information from different guidelines and from different literatures and all, and I prepared this content. So this recording will be for long period available in the YouTube. So my point is, whenever you want to implement or whenever you want to refer, you can refer always as a learning, because it will not directly change. Okay, so it is a scientific base, so it will not be changed even for long period. But for implementation, I always recommend to follow the current guidelines. So consider this is only for the learning purpose or training purpose. Okay. This is what I just want to put a disclaimer. And now let us start our today's discussion with the introduction about the computerized system validation. Okay. So again, before start of the training session, I just want to request all people that if you have any questions, then please put in the chat box. Okay. So there are so many comments I received. Yeah, thank you, Emmanuel, and all people, Mr. Gopal, and all that. I'm audible and everything is okay. Thank you so much. So let us discuss about the purpose and scope of a computerized system validation. Always remember here, many people use the word computer system validation. Please remember that instead of using the computer system validation, always use the terminology as computerized system validation. This I have written here, computer system validation. The reason is this statement is in the EUGMP 5 guideline. So I put here. Otherwise, always refer in your SOPs, procedures as a computerized system validation. The reason is your procedures will be applicable for all the different type of systems which are associated with the computer. Maybe some PLC, SCADA, maybe complex, or maybe some softwares only. So that is the reason I request this to all people. So let us discuss about what is the purpose of the today's topic. So basically, CSV is the process of ensuring that any technology component, software or hardware, hope you are aware about what is the software and what is the hardware. If you are not aware, no problem. During a risk assessment, that point will be coming. I will be discussing. Okay. That is fulfilling its purpose in line with the regulatory guidelines. So my point here is, basic simple thing is, whatever equipments you are using for your manufacturing or testing purpose, basic requirement is what? These equipments or instrument need to be validated, qualified, right? Same thought, same principle is applicable here. So whatever software, computerized system, then computer system is software as well as hardware both, involved in your routine analysis or routine manufacturing purpose or GMP activity, they should be validated. That is the simple meaning of this. Okay. And as pharma is a FDA regulated industry, the pharmaceutical, because it is directly linked to the patient health and safety. So that is the reason we are bound to follow the computerized system validation requirements. Hope this is the brief about uh, you can say the CSV. So same thing is specified here what I was discussing in this next slide. A validation assessment program is necessity in the pharma industry to ensure adherence to pharmaceutical CGMP guidelines and to help companies maintain consistent quality. So hope you are aware about validation definitions, process validations and all. So the consistent quality, what does mean by consistent quality? It should perform the consistently same. So if it is performing today same type it should perform tomorrow, and same computerized system should perform similar way in the day after tomorrow and continuously up to the end of the life of the computerized system. This is called a consistent quality. The same principles are applied in computerized system validation, so that is what I was discussing. Computer system validation checks the effectiveness and efficiency with which the system is meeting the purpose of which it was designed. One thing before going this training, I just want to request all of you, don't write whatever I am discussing here. If you are interested in the training presentation, training material, you please put comment. At the end of the session, I will share the link. From the link, you will able to download the training presentation. But my request is, if you download this after, if you request me after a 1 month or after a long period, I may not have the training presentation and the link will expire shortly. So please, uh, whenever I will share the link, immediately you download the training presentation. So my point is, please focus what I am discussing and what is displayed here. Okay, don't go and write anything else. Okay, so what are the guideline requirements with respect to the risk assessment in computerized system now? So there are some guideline requirements, hope slide is visible to all of you. Sometime what happens, slide may not be visible to you, means current slide may not be, you may not able to access the current slide. Sometime it will take some, a couple of seconds to be visible for you. Okay, so basically here this is a UGMP requirement. Okay, very simple but very meaningful, and many companies where they are lacking, I will touch upon here. This is exactly copy and paste from the guideline. Risk assessment or risk management should be applied throughout the life cycle of the computerized system, taking into account patient safety, data integrity and product quality. Okay, so I agree that risk assessment and risk management are somewhat different from each other concepts, but sometimes, while discussion it may come from my, while discussion I may use the terminology risk assessment, so please consider it as a risk management only. Okay, if you are interested in basic risk assessment concepts and all, risk management concepts and all, then I have shared the separate link in the description section where you will get the concept as well as the training on the current ICH Q9 revised one first revision guideline. That also recorded webinars are put in the description section. You can go through that after completion of this training session. So here one point is what EU requirement is throughout the life cycle. So when you are performing the risk assessment, we should follow the life cycle approach. But many companies, when we review the computerized system document, come to know that the life cycle approach is not followed. Just write it down somewhere else. What is meant by this? We will discuss, in the course of the discussion. Okay, but my point is, life cycle approach should be followed. And second point is also very important now. Second paragraph. There also many companies lack. Even more than 90% companies lack, I will tell. As a part of risk management system, decisions, this word, decisions on the extent of validation and data integrity controls should be based on a justified and documented risk assessment of the computerized system. So here point is decision on extent of validation means what? So suppose you are performing the validation of a one computerized system, and you have like that, suppose different in your company, you have suppose 100 computerized system. So your depth of validation will be same. The answer is no. Depth of validation will be different, because the decision of the depth of validation should be based on extent, should be based on the risk assessment, risk management principle, and also at what extent the data integrity controls should be implemented in that software or computerized system, that also should be based on the risk base. This is what the guideline expectation. But the decisions, whatever, when we review the validation document, what happened, some 10-15 pages risk assessment will be there, then their urs will be there, and then iq oq pq some screenshots will be pasted, and done by check by signatures, and final report complies, that is sign off, that's it. We found this way. But my point is, decisions on means what, why we are performing this test, why we are not performing some other test. This type of decisions should be recorded. So many type of decisions making should be there. What type of decision making, don't worry, I am going to discuss in current scenario, current this today only, current topic only, don't worry about that. But my point is, decision making is important, and the decision making should be through the risk assessment. That is what the point, where many pharma companies, even more than 90% of pharma companies, lack in that. Okay, that is what I am emphasizing here. This is the FDA requirement, and FDA requirement also similar. 21 CFR Part 11 requirement. FDA recommend that you base your approach on a justified and documented risk assessment. So what will be your approach for validation? What will be the approach means, of normal approach will be same, right? Correct? URS, FRS, IQ, OQ, PQ, risk assessment, all approach will be same. I agree with that. But approach means what exactly, meaning of is testing. What type of test you are going to perform, that should be justified and documented in the risk assessment. And determination of the potential of a system to affect product quality and safety and record integrity. So basically it should be based on the risk based approach, or your validation approach should be based on the risk base, and also based on at what extent your system is impacting on product quality, safety and record integrity. You're getting my point? So all systems may not be, uh, critical, GXP impacting. Some may be GXP critical, some may be GXP non-critical systems, some may be no GXP level at all. So that also you need to evaluate. This is what the expectation many companies lack. Again, I am telling you, and this is not my words, my dear friend. These are all whatever I am discussing. It is exactly guideline requirement. This is the guideline requirement for computer software assurance, CSA. Again, it is expected that when you are performing the CSA, it is a risk-based approach to establish confidence in the automation used for production or quality systems, and identify where additional rigor may be appropriate. Describe various methods and testing activities that may be applied to establish computer software assurance, and provide objective evidence to fulfill regulatory requirements such as computer software validation requirements. It is Part 21 CFR Part 820. So this is the guideline requirement of 21 CFR Part 820. So this is, I just want to share this requirement for CSA, computer software assurance. So my point is, overall there is a guideline expectation by different guidelines, and we need to follow them. So let us discuss about some overview on the risk assessment. Okay, and this, you may be aware about risk assessment, basics of the risk assessment and all. Many companies already, you are aware about the risk assessment, and you are also doing the risk assessment. So one thing I just want to touch upon is, This flow everybody is expecting, everybody is following this flow. Only one, a change I just want to discuss with you here is, if you can see this slide fully, you can see here first risk assessment, first part is hazard analysis. Hazard analysis. This is not the risk analysis, basically this is the hazard analysis. Earlier when ICH Q9 was there, that was a different terminology, risk analysis, risk identification. But now you can see here it is a hazard analysis. Okay, so this is the something, the hazard identification. This is a new change in the ICH Q9 to ICH Q9 R1. Of course there are other changes also. So I will share the link of ICH Q9 R1 in the description section. After completion of this discussion, you can go through that. Okay, but this is just I am touching here. So as it is a part of risk assessment, so I thought that let us display this slide. Now this slide, next slide, is specifically for the people who don't know how to perform the risk assessment. So for them, I purposely put this slide. So basically, when we are discussing this how to perform, simple thing is, we should ask some questions. Simple thing. We should ask some questions. What are questions should be asked? Simple questions we should ask about any topic. So our topic is what? Computerized system, right? So what can go wrong? That is the first question we should ask. What can go wrong? What are the possibilities that the system will get wrong? The next question is, what are the intended consequences? If that goes wrong, system goes wrong, what are the intended consequences? Or what is its impact? That we should identify. And what is the likelihood that can occur? So first question is what? What can go wrong? That we should ask about the system. And even identify that this may go wrong, this may be possibility of failure, this may be possibility of problem in the system. We may identify 1, 2, 3, 4 points. Then the next question is what? If that problem happens, what will be its impact? And third question is, this type of problem, whether in past we face, how many times we face, that is called likelihood. And how will we know to detect the occurrence or failure? And suppose this failure happens today, can we come to know, can we detect it? That questions we should ask. And the last question is, once we identify all these 3, 4 points, then the last question is, okay, this problem happened, this impact is also we are evaluated, and this type of problem earlier how many times happened, that also we evaluated. And if that problem happened today, then how we can identify, that also we come to know. And my point is, if that problem happened, is there any alternate solution? That we have to evaluate. This 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 questions only we need to ask. And then once you ask these 5 questions, then simply what you have to do, you have to put in this format. Simple question, simply you have to put in this format. So you can see this format, very simple format here. This format is called failure mode effect analysis, FMEA. Or if it is a critical only, we are considering only critical points, you can consider FMECA, failure mode effect criticality analysis. So you can see here, it's a very simple, whatever I was telling you, same you have to write here. You can put serial number 1, you can put process or activity. So let us take example of computerized system, any example like, any software you can take it. So you can consider process or activity is what? Login. Let us say example login, right? So potential risk. What are the potential risks with respect to the login? It may not able to log in, or it may allow login to the other persons, or it may allow login with the wrong password. These are all possibilities, right? All possibilities. So you write in the second column like this, potential risk, or what are the possibilities. Then in the next column, risk associated with the failure. If that problem happens, what is the risk? So if I am not able to log in, The risk is I will not able to use the software. So the user will not able to use the software or computerized system. Or suppose the in the second this one potential risk, if you identify that the software can be login uh, uh, with the wrong password, suppose, then the risk associated with is what? The other person can access the account and can lead to the data integrity risk. So this is the risk associated with the failure mode. After that, what are the current control measures you have? So do you have the current control measures? Yes, you can write that. Yes, the system is having a privileges and protections and all, that you can write here. And then here you write here severity. So it is very serious, right? Because it is directly impact on data integrity of the data. So see, it is very high serious, right? Severity is very high. Occurrence. So how many times it happened earlier, that you can ask this question and you can write here. And detectability. If it happens today, can you detect it? Can you check it? That you write here. And for this, you need to have a numbering for severity, occurrence and detectability. You can have numbering 1 to 10 or 1 to 5, whatever. And you number here as OD, multiply this to get the RPN value, risk priority number. And based on that, you categorize whether it is a critical, major or minor. If you come to know that the RPN is very high, means it is a high or medium, then you need to follow the second stage also. So here second stage, you need to put some mitigation plan, then only you can go further. Simple FMEA I am explaining here. And my point is, if you are still not able to understand with this example, I prepared the risk assessment with the basic example. I have shared the link in the description section. Simple 10 minutes video. You can go through that. You will understand how to fill this form. With a simple basic example. Okay. But here I explain this with the computer system related example. Okay. Some companies, they use this FMEA or FMECA table, and some companies they perform the RAG analysis. RAG analysis is what? Red, amber, green analysis. So what is that? So you can see here, simple RAG analysis means red, amber, green analysis. So here, what is meant by red? Red means, you can see from the picture. Okay, you will come to know. So what happened? The plot severity with respect to the probability. Okay, so what happened? If severity is high, probability high, that means it is a red, means it is a class 1. So we have to put focus on priority basis. And severity is low, probability low, then it will be the class 3. So this risk class are again plotted with respect to detectability. And if it is the low, class 3, correct? But if detectability is low, then still it will not be green, it will be the amber. So if it is a very low severity and very low probability, but detectability is also very low, then you need to consider the amber, not the green. That is what the meaning of this. Hope you got my point. Otherwise, if you multiply the RPN, then you will get that it is a low category, and low you will not take action. So that is the reason many companies, they follow this RAG analysis tool also. So this is the way you can perform the risk assessment. This is the basics about risk assessment I was discussing. And now actual our topic is with respect to the computerized system. Actual topic that we are going to discuss now. Okay. Before going to this actual discussion, it is I am telling you, this is a practical approach for risk assessment of computerized system. Practical approach, purely practical approach. Okay. So how you can perform the risk assessment of a computerized systems, and where companies are lacking, that I am going to discuss. And hope slide is visible to you. There are basically two distinct aspects of a risk management of a computerized system. The first aspect is what? The process to identify the risk and to evaluate their potential impact on the product quality, patient safety, and data integrity. So you have to identify the potential risk with respect to quality, safety, and data integrity. That is the first aspect. And second aspect is what? Second aspect is during the validation. When you will perform the validation of a computerized system, as a life cycle approach, whatever stages of validation will be there, during that, if different stages, you need to perform the risk assessment. So that is the second stage. So first stage is what? First identify whether the computer system is impacting on quality, patient safety, and data integrity or not. If it is not impacting, then no need to go to stage 2. Very simple. You're getting my point, what I'm telling? Hope I am making in a simple language, right? I am not making it complicated. Very simple way, step by step I am going to explain here. So my point here is, first you have to evaluate computerized system, whether it is impacting on, the product quality, patient safety, and data integrity. If no, then no need to go to the second stage. That is what the point here is. And when it is yes, you need to go to second stage. And in the second stage, you need to perform the validation on different levels. And that levels, what we need to consider, that again we are going to discuss this. Okay, so these are the two distinct stages. That is what I want to share with you, right? So let us discuss the first stage. So here, first stage is what? First stage is risk assessment to evaluate the potential impact, correct? Risk assessment to evaluate the potential impact on product quality, patient safety, and data integrity. How we need to do this? This is the question, correct? And answer to this question is, the last week I conducted this training session. Last week only, last Saturday. Okay, so today is 13. So last Saturday, 6th of January, I conducted the training session. Don't worry, I will share the link of this also, training session also in the link in the description. Okay, so you will come to know. Okay, so first you need to perform the, whether it is impacting on the the product safety, product patient health, and data integrity. That you have to evaluate first. And when you come to know that yes, it is impacting, when you come to know that yes, it is impacting, then you need to go to the next stage, and that is the what? Second stage. Okay, so the second stage is risk assessment within the validation life cycle. The next stage is what? Risk assessment within the validation life cycle, and here the many companies lack. So first stage also many companies lack, that also I discussed during the last week. This second stage also, this is a picture or diagram, I took it exactly from EUGMP 5 guideline, and same picture I put in the first page, first training, first slide of the today's training session. So this training, you can come to know that when we are performing the risk assessment within the validation life cycle, then you come to know that you can see here the green, R1, R2, R3, R4, R5, R6, R7, R8, R9. You can see here all green, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You can see this. So these all the stages of a validation where we need to perform the risk assessment, risk management basically. So what exactly that? Maybe slide is maybe small, don't worry. Same I am going to discuss one by one each details, because most of the companies lack this. So what are these stages? You can see here. Okay, so what are the stages? You can see here all the 7 stages are there here. Okay, what are the 7 stages? Initial risk assessment. Second is risk-based decision during the planning process. So you remember the EUGMP requirement, decision making, or US FDA requirement, decision making. That is also the part of the EUGMP 5 guideline. but the decision making is lacking in most of the company's validation document. All the validation document, they have their standard practice, because softwares are normally common in most of the laboratories. So they will have the standard set of risk assessment document. They have standard set of IQ, OQ, PQ document, standard set of URS and all. They just go some, they appoint some fresher people. This is what the really the bad in the pharma companies nowadays. The some fresher people are hardly having 1 or 2 years of experience. They are not much aware about the validations of computerized system. They go, they just take the screenshots, screen prints, attach with the document, take the signatures, and validation is over. This is not the case. Please understand this. So when we are discussing about the only the one topic, risk assessment, you understand that how it is elaborative and how much we need to put our efforts. So initial risk assessment, then risk based decision during the planning process. So my point is, planning means even before preparing the, before thinking about the software to install in my company, or during the preparation of a URS, that is called the initial risk assessment and the risk based decision. Then functional risk assessment means how the system should work, how the system should function, and with respect to that functioning, what may go wrong, what can go wrong. That risk assessment is a functional risk assessment. Then again, risk based decision during test planning. So when you will perform the test, during IQ you will perform some test, during OQ you will perform the test. Hope you are aware about that. IQ means installation qualification, OQ means operation qualification, PQ means performance qualification. So when you will perform some test during IQ, OQ or PQ, the point is why you need to perform that test. Whenever you are writing the test, that okay, I need to perform this test, how you need to perform, that procedure will be specified in the protocol. Perfect. But why that decision should be risk based? That is the fourth aspect of a risk assessment. So when you are planning to perform the testing, that test also, the testing decision should be based on the risk base. The fifth is risk based decision during the operational planning. So how you are going to operational of this software, that decision also should be risk based. Many companies lack in point number 5 also. They don't consider the that point of during the risk assessment. You can go through your risk assessment. I know that you all are working in a pharma. My request is you just review your risk assessment of a computerized system, any computerized system risk assessment. You will come to know that this is lacking. Clear cut. Sixth is functional risk assessment in the change control. So in the change control, whatever functions you are specifying, whether the risk assessment is done in the change control or not. And the seventh also, it is lacking in many companies. Seventh is what? Risk based decision in system retirement. This system retirement, the point is what? Hope you remember at the start of the training session I told that life cycle, correct? So here, and it is the expectation of a EUGMP Annex 11. So here many companies lack to perform the risk assessment decision about the system retirement, how the system retirement will be handled, how the data migration, how the if system is migrated from one system to another, so whether the another system will support to access the data generated from the old system, that all need to be evaluated. That is the point number 7. So these all 7 points you can see it is in line with the exactly EUGMP 5 guideline requirement. So now let us discuss about what is expected in the initial risk assessment, what is expected under the risk-based decision during the planning process, what is expected in the next all stages, that we will discuss here. Okay. Hope you are getting my point. I am making this training session in a very simple and easy way so that everybody will understand the process. But still, if you have any questions, I request all of you to put in the comment section. Okay, so I will reply to your all questions. So what is the initial risk assessment? What we need to consider basically. The initial risk assessment should determine potential GXP implications arising from the computerization of the process. So if, because now at this moment we have not gone for the computerized system, we are just planning, we are just thinking, right, that we need, can we go for a computerized system? For example, I am using a QMS system today, quality management system today, paper based, right, and I want to go paperless, let us say, and I am thinking today. So I have to think what are the potential GXP implication if I move from paper based system to the paperless system. Many risk assessment you will come to know that this risk assessment is missing, specifically computerized system. The requirement for the audit trail or requirement for full 21 CFR Part 11 compliance must also be assessed early in the process. And when you are thinking, okay, if I need to have a system, so what type of audit trail checks needs required in that system, that I need to evaluate. You got my point. So this is the initial assessment. This is the initial risk assessment. Up till here, even you have not prepared the URS also, my dear friend. Please understand. Before URS preparation also, you need to consider the risk assessment. That is what the point here in this slide. And this I am not telling, again I am telling, these are the EUGMP 5 expectation, my dear friend. This is whatever I am discussing, it is exactly in line with the EUGMP 5. Okay, hope you are getting my point. Second is what? Risk based decisions during the planning process. So when you will plan, you have to make a decision ki, okay, now I need to prepare the URS, user requirement specification. So when I will prepare the URS, that URS also should be prepared based on the risk based. So we have to follow the risk based decision for preparing the URS. So all the points we need to take some decisions here when I am preparing the URS. So what type of points at least I need to consider? Some examples are, I have to identify some supplier first. So the supplier, how I need to evaluate, whether I need to evaluate or not. And if I need to evaluate, how I need to evaluate. And what is the outcome of that vendor evaluation. And what approach I need to use it. And what type of validation activities I need to perform. That should be the part of that. Okay, this is the second stage, that is a risk-based decision during the planning process. The third is functional risk assessment. So hope you are aware about this, all the terminologies. The functional risk assessment basically is, that how the system will function, correct? Hope you are aware about this. So means what? See, you thought that the structure of the system will be like this, something like this, and it will function like this. But if there is a failure in the function, what will happen and what is the risk associated with that failure? That is called a functional risk assessment. So the functional risk assessment may be appropriate to identify risk to product quality, data integrity, patient safety, and business continuity resulting from the failure of functionality of the computerized system. So this should be related to the URS or functional specification document. So whatever these risks are there, that identified risk should be addressed in the some either URS or the functional specification documents. The next risk assessment stage of a computerized system is risk-based decision during the test planning. So already I was discussing with you that what type of test we need to consider, correct, during the testing. So this testing also should be identified. Decisions for performing the particular test should be based on the risk based. The risk assessments, so the slide is very clearly visible to all of you, and always remember, the key aspects or the key points I am making in a bold, so that it will so that you can focus on that particular highlighted text. Okay, risk assessments are used to determine the level of verification testing required. So at what level we need to perform the verification testing, and to assess the outcome of testing, we need to take these decisions based on the risk base. Depending on the size and complexity of a system, it may be necessary to perform several such assessments. This is very key thing here. Size and complexity of the system. If system is simple, your testing also will be simple. If system is a complex, then your depth of validation or depth of testing also will be high. So simple testing means a simple software is there, so testing will be very simple. But if there is suppose a complicated software which is associated with some hardware and all, like a SCADA system where multiple operations are uh, managed or operated, then data is collected, evaluated by all the SCADA systems, reported by the SCADA system. So complex operations are there, complex controlling mechanisms are there. In that case, the depth of the validation will be very high. So you have to perform the several risk assessment to evaluate that whether you are performing you are planning to perform the test, whether they are sufficient or you need to put some more test that you need to evaluate. So that is the reason it requires to have a several assessment. Why it is required to several assessment? Because you should not miss, basically you should not miss something. Now you will say that then there is endless. No, my dear friend, it is not endless. I will give simple example, you will come to know in a better way. During the one of the FDA inspection, inspector audited the validation of a SAP system. Now SAP system, you are aware about that SAP system used for a GMP activity. Release also, the product release also done by that with that system and all, right? Now when it is audited, FDA come to know that the negative testing is not performed. Negative testing means what? They perform the positive testing, means the correct user ID, correct password, system is allowing the access. Correct? This is the positive testing. Negative testing is what? Purposely put the correct user ID but wrong password. System should deny. System should deny the access. That that particular type of negative testing was not performed and the company got the 483 observation. So my point here is why they lack this, because they didn't perform the risk based decisions for particular planning of the tests. So they go ahead, go with the same, the set of documents, and they followed it. That's it. And due to that, that company got the 483 citation. Hope you my voice is clear, and hope my message is also clear to all of you, right? If you have any questions, please put your question in the chat box. I will repeat your all questions. But my point is you should not get confused and you should not divert in the discussion. Very clear I am telling you, because this is very key aspect I am telling you. The next stage of validation risk assessment is risk based decision during the operational planning. So what does it mean? That when we are discussing about a computerized system, there are the hardware and software. So I was telling you, what is meant by hardware and what is meant by software. So some people may have some confusion and all. So you can see the slide here, very clear slide. You can see the left in the picture. You can see the hardware. What is the example of hardware? You can see the keyboard, CPU, desktop, you know, then printer and all. This is the hardware. Software means what? The softwares or the applications used for the computerized system, like PowerPoint I am using, internet I am using, or antivirus and all. This is the software. So the assessment of the hardware and software configuration and of the operational process can be used to identify the need for support process. Means what? Why this assessment is required? First of all, the assessment is required because the point is, suppose you are having some computerized system, and you are having suppose the very old version of a desktop hardware, very old version of a hardware. So the RAM is very less, or the storage will be very less. Then there may be possibility that software may not run. So in that case, you need to evaluate that how much, what is the capacity of that all, hardwares and all, even the softwares. Some softwares will require some specific antivirus also. So that also you need to evaluate, and you need to work in that. You need to write that yes, this hardware may not support the system to work. As a risk assessment, you need to identify the risk, or the softwares associated with the computerized system like Windows and all. You enlist that whether this will support or not, or any additional interfaces or any additional softwares need to be installed. That you need to evaluate. Second thing, whether available softwares and versions will be support to the working functioning of the computerized system or not. If not, then what actions you need to put some actions. You need to upgrade the computer. You need to upgrade the software, so that the once your configuration of a hardware and software is upgraded, you will come to know that the operational process will be smooth. So to ensure the smooth operational process, you need to evaluate or assess the hardware and software as a part of the risk assessment in this stage. At this stage, that risk assessment decision during the operational planning. Hope this is clear to all of you. Correct? And next is functional risk assessment in a change control. So this, now I think everybody is aware about this functional risk assessment in the change control. Everybody is aware about the change control concept also. So what we need to check under this is risk assessment within the change control process can help to determine the extent of the verification activities required. So when you will perform the change control, then at what extent you will perform the verification activities and all, that need to be evaluated during the change control. Because here verification means not only the testing and verification, but its impact. What type of different verification means, what are the different impacting software, what are the different impacting systems with respect to, because what happened when we are using the change control, we have not implemented the software yet, correct? So when we are going to implement a change control, we are all discussing about the new software, current software. But the point is, by implementing that current software, whatever we are going to implement the software in future, what will be its impact? That all need to be verified. So what further we need to verify? That also we need to specify. Many companies lack this checkpoint also. I am telling you frankly, many companies lack. And the last stage of a risk assessment within the validation life cycle is a risk-based decisions in a system retirement. Risk-based decision in the system retirement. Most of the pharma companies, I have reviewed the computerized system documents, because I am supporting the so many pharma companies for auditing the computerized system documentation. The reason is, many companies think that they have implemented the software, they perform the validation, so they are free from data integrity risk. So they don't know whether it is a part 11 compliant. Even many computer system development companies or many software developers, they prepare a certificate fill something checklist and all, and they claim that their software is a part 11 compliant. It is not the case. The company who is developing the software, same company cannot claim that it is a part 11 compliant. For example, if I am conducting the training to you, you are listening all the training and all, and if I will tell that I am the good trainer, then it is wrong. I am conducting the training, so I should not claim that I am a good trainer. So who should tell? Independently, somebody other than me should tell that whether I am a good trainer or a bad trainer. Correct? Same way, if I am preparing or I am developing the software, I cannot claim that this is a part 11 compliant. Somebody, the independent agency, should claim, should evaluate, complete review, and then should claim whether the computerized system is a part 11 compliant or not. I have audited so many computerized systems, and I come to know that many computerized systems, they claim, the vendor claim that it is a part 11 compliant, but while review, I proved that they are not complying to the part 11. And ultimately the company will face the further the repercussions from the regulatory agencies, because the company will be very relaxed, cool, that yes, we have implemented the computerized system, we are free from data integrity risk and all, that's it. But they don't know about the repercussion if that computerized system fail to comply the requirements. Vendor will get the money, vendor is getting the money and all, but main finally impact will be in the company. And that is the reason I am specifically auditing the computerized systems in many companies. And we corrected so many documents, we upgraded so many softwares and computerized systems and all, so that they will be part 11 compliant. Why I am discussing all these things? Because this last point also, most of the all validation documents will be missing. When we are reviewing the risk assessment, the system retirement is not evaluated, because you are generating the CGXP data from the system, my dear friend, and the data should be for longer period, should be available and should be readily available for the inspections. Now suppose tomorrow the system is upgraded after 2 months, 2 years, sorry, 3 years, or some period 5 years. Suppose the company decide to go for some alternate computerized system, or suppose the same vendor upgrade the computerized system, no problem. What about the data generated with the old system? If that data is not readable, then your whole computer system, procurement, purchase, payment, money, everything, effort, documentation, everything goes to zero. So that is the reason this point also very, very important, and most of the company lack. That is what risk-based decision in the system retirement. The risk assessment at the time of system replacement can identify practical approaches to critical considerations such as data migrations or managing the data within the legacy system. So how you can manage the data. This point also you need to consider while performing the risk assessment. So in summary, main 5 points you need to put a focus in the overall summary. So what are the 5 points? Simple. Again, the validation activities should be based on the risk-based approach, correct? And this is the regulatory expectation. This is not your or my expectation. This is the regulatory expectation. So we should not forget that. So risk assessment is not like that, that a ready copy and paste from one company to another company and just sign off. Please understand this. Second is the proactive approach should be followed. So always think what might go wrong, and based on that you further identify the consequences, impact, and alternatives and all to perform the risk assessment. So follow the proactive approach. Third is risk assessment should cover potential impact as well as different stages of validation. Correct? There are two stages, right? You remember? first and second. Second is the different stages of validation. So you should not forget the 7 key stages of risk management within the validation life cycle. All the 7 stages starting from the initial planning to the final retirement plan. All you need to consider. Most of the company lack in the risk assessment for considering this. And last point is very important. In case of a simple or less complex system, if it is a simple or less complex system, means a simple software is there, you can access through like a Chrome and all, Google Chrome or like that. The risk management can be combined. So all the 7 aspects as well as the first, which is where you are evaluating the potential impact, all 7 plus 1 you can combine in a one document, no problem. And also based on that, even accordingly the depth of validation also can be reduced, and based on that also you can reduce the validation level, okay, depth of the validation. Hope you understood all these points. And finally, these are my contact details. Thank you so much for your kind presence. These are my contact details. You can contact me on this contact details. And also I want to share that this is a free learning platform, Hitendra Kumar Shah, and that free learning platform Hitendra Kumar Shah, you will get so many learning videos. So my suggestion is you go to YouTube and you just put Hitendra Kumar Shah. There are so many, more than hundreds of videos are there, so many different pharmaceutical topics, computerized system topics and all. So you will learn lot of topics from this video. And also I request all people to subscribe this YouTube channel. Second, please share the link of this to all your colleagues so that at least they will not make a mistake. Okay. So let us discuss about the questions. Somebody asked the question from training, can I share this session in Facebook? Yeah, you can share the link to all the different social media platform. GXP training is asking, I need to learn detail on risk assessment. Yes, a GXP training, I don't know your name, sorry, it is appearing as GXP training. So I have shared some links in the description section. After completion of this training session, you can go through these links and you will get the different risk assessment with the practical example, simple example to implement. You will come to know, and you can go through this risk assessment. You will understand in a better way. Okay. Then it is GXP training is telling you can click the share button and then share to all through. So yeah. Thank you, GXP training. You answered it, that there is a share button. You click the share button, you will get the link. You copy the link. Otherwise, directly you can click to the all social medias and you can share it. Thank you so much. But I suggest that at least you share this link to your company people, at least in the company WhatsApp groups. All the companies, they have their all the WhatsApp groups. Maybe most of the companies, they have multiple WhatsApp groups. Some will be for the department WhatsApp group. Somebody will have all the company WhatsApp group. Somebody will have a close friend WhatsApp group. My suggestion is at least share the link in your WhatsApp group so that all will get benefit. And at least sometime what happen, your manager may not be aware of this topic or your boss may not be aware. So at least he or she will come to know about this topic. Pro Gamer OP is asking, what is meant by life cycle? See, the life cycle approach, you remember what we follow the 7 stages. So first stage is what? From the planning to the retirement. That is called the life cycle approach. And many companies lack there. Okay. Thank you for arranging training. Thank you. Please share PPT. Yeah, I will share the PPT. Don't worry about that. Okay. I will share the link and you can download it. Just a minute. Mr. Gopal is asking that how to learn CSV in practical approach. Mr. Gopal, I suggest that you go to the Hitendra Kumar Shah YouTube channel. There you put computerized system validation. You will come to know that how URS should be prepared, what should be the content of URS, what content of installation qualification, operational qualification, performance qualification. All the things are there. I have conducted the session training, and that recorded session is uploaded in the YouTube. You can please go through that. Okay. And after that, you have any question, you put in the comment section. I will respond. I will I will reply you, or I will try clear your doubts. Okay. Yeah, Emmanuel is telling I am audible. Thank you. Virendra Narayanan is asking what is the difference between FMEA and FMECA. See, FMEA is a failure mode effect analysis. FMECA is a failure mode effect criticality analysis. So point is, uh, when we are discussing about the risk assessment, it is a proactive approach. What can go wrong, or what might go wrong? If you ask this question, there are so many n number of questions will be there, right? So many n number of possibilities can go wrong. So when you are discussing with FMEA, you have to consider all the possibilities where it will be have the answer that what might go wrong. But when you discuss about FMECA, so from the all the possibilities, you have to consider the what are the critical aspects that you need to consider. That is called a FMECA. Uh, Good evening. Isha is telling that Isha is asking, can I share your video link on my company WhatsApp? Yeah, yeah, please, Isha, you can share the link in your company WhatsApp group so that other people also, uh, you know, get benefit from this. Okay. So, yeah, I'm sharing you the link. Just a minute. My suggestion is please download the training material from the link immediately. This is the link for PPT download. So please download it immediately so that because the point is the link will get expire. After that, even I will not also have the, I will not able to have the training material also. So if you ask me about 10 to 15 days, then I may not have the training material also, and the link will also get expire. So please download the training material. I think there are no any questions. Thank you. Thank you so much for your kind attendance. And before leaving, again, I am requesting all people to subscribe this YouTube channel. Thank you. Thank you so much. And ensure all time compliance. Thank you so much. And now I am ending the this one training session, today's training session, and we will meet again on the coming Saturday, all right? Next Saturday. Okay. Okay. See you. Bye bye. And ensure all time compliance.